label makers have been coming in for some flack. You see that?
I haven't seen that. No, tell me more about the label makers.
Nope, let's not.
Okay.
Let's leave that one. Welcome back to Spin Cycle Podcast, everybody. I'm Kaylee Fretz. Today on the show, Alexander Kristoff may miss his milestone. UCI points really matter for the next couple of weeks, and there are more people leaving Ineos this offseason. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the show, Johnny Long.
Hello, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. And back from Babyland. Although, you know, kind of permanently in Babyland.
I'm
now.
still in
Let's be
Babyland.
honest. You're deep in it. Dane Cash, it's good to have you back on the show. It's good to see your smiling face once again.
Glad to be back. Yeah, I've missed it. I mean, I've also enjoyed not working, but I've missed it as well.
Well, I think that's really what we go for around here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, how would you describe the first couple weeks of fatherhood?
Blissful, just absolute blissful. My daughter's an angel.
A lot of sleeping.
Yeah, no, not a lot of sleeping, a lot of screaming. The baby, not me. But
If you scream back, have you tried that yet?
I have not screamed back, but I've tried to just like make noise and see how she responds to that. Doesn't really work.
Yeah. Don't scream at your children.
You
That's
should
fine.
try talking about medieval history to her. That might
We've listened to lots of podcasts together.
that's not working.
Well, she's actually kind of liked some of them. We've done some English and some Spanish, and I think the Spanish ones are the reader's really good. I think he's got a nice voice, so that's been soothing. Yeah. So yeah,
we're
we're
pod out as well.
doing all right.
Well, we're happy for you, Dane. We're also happy to have you back. You'll be back sort of fully next week, which is great, but we want to pull you into the pod this week. Let's, well, Dane, you've missed a lot,
A lot.
my guy.
Oh, buddy.
There's been a bunch going on. You missed the World Championships, you know, the European Championships to some extent. What else?
Label makers have been coming in for some flack. You see that?
I haven't seen that. No, tell me more about the label makers.
Nope,
okay.
let's not.
Okay.
Let's leave that one.
Were you here for the end of the Vuelta? Yeah.
Yeah, I was here for the end of Worlds. I was here for Worlds as well. I saw the time trial at Worlds, and
Yeah.
I see,
So
okay.
that hardly counts. Let's get right into the bicycle racing.
Yeah.
We can look forward instead of looking back. I think that's really what we're going to do here with Dane returning. Can we talk? This is not looking forward. This is Alexander Kristoff is the definition of looking back at this point. He's right near the end of his career. He was going for am I correct in this? He was going for 100 victories. Is that right? And
Well,
he's not going to get there.
Well, yeah, technically he is still looking forward at the people crossing the finish line ahead of him
Oh,
as he
brutal.
desperately tries to get the final 2 victories in his final professional bike race at the Tour de Langkawi. Finished 5th on stage 1, 2nd on stage 3. And I don't know if the sprinting stage are over, but then the results are kind of going down a bit. But it looks like Alexander Kristoff's quest for 100 professional victories he's been pipped at the post by Father Time, which is sad. But 98 is not to be sniffed at.
It's pretty good.
Could he not go to some of the Tour de France criteriums and be allowed to win those, and then, as Mark Cavendish did this time last year, declare it one of his favourite bike race victories of all time, or whatever he did? That's what I would suggest.
Isn't there like a whole bunch of controversy around Ronaldo and like 1,000 goals and which of those were
probably.
actual games and things? Yeah, there's a bit of that in every sport, right? I think, is the 100, I'm assuming that's just 100 professional victories.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's still damn impressive.
Yeah.
With, 98. Great. Good for you,
I feel like
Alexander Kristoff.
Kristoff doesn't get enough credit for like the longevity of his winning
Agreed.
career. Like a lot of riders extend their career into their late 30s and even early 40s. Not a lot of them are actually still winning that whole time. And I feel like Kristoff is good for a win or two these past couple of years. And it's like people kind of forget about him, but he's still there, still churning away, still getting those wins.
He is 26th overall, according to Pro Cycling Stats.
In career wins.
In career wins, crucially, one ahead of Arnaud Demar, who has 97 wins, who also might be retiring. Not sure. He's doesn't have a contract next year because he's been Arcade B&B Hotels, who look like they're going out of business. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens. Maybe they can start their own team. I don't know.
There's no gifts, right? That's the thing. I would love to see Alexander Kristoff win a stage of Langkawi, but there's other people that want to win that.
Well, especially Kaylee, nice segue there, because we're coming to the final 2 weeks of the current 3-year promotion relegation cycle in the UCI World Tour. And things are looking interesting. It's a lot of, it gives me the vibe of revising for an exam the morning of the exam, where suddenly they're trying to cram, when it's like, you've had 3 years to do this, guys.
That's
all
British
the
for
racers.
studying, right? Revising.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, studying.
Send all the racers to all the races. Yeah.
Yes, and so yes, we have the top 18 that get World Tour, but what's interesting here is it's actually the battle for 19th, because it looks like at the moment that Lotto and Intermarché Wanty are currently in the 18th spot, are going to merge, which, yes, someone could buy their license. Don't know. UCI, weirdly, is quite unclear on exactly how it's all going to pan out. But what would make sense, especially seeing as the whole promotion relegation system is supposed to add some actual sporting integrity into bike racing. The reason they brought it in was to stop teams just languishing and hogging World Tour spots while doing nothing. So now you get punished for it instead, which is a more,
I like it.
It's more British Premier League than NHL or whatever, right? So the battle for 19th is between Uno X and Cofidis, and they're separated by 221 UCI points, which is very few points.
Yeah.
Very few.
And with a bunch of races left to go, and crucially, some of the races that are at the end here are worth a ton. For not unknown. For known reasons.
Well, Guangxi.
Yeah, exactly.
World Tour race. If you finish in the top 10 of the GC there, you get like hundreds of points.
Lombardia as well. I mean, that's because it's a monument. That's a big one. So there's some real opportunities.
And while Uno X have definitely sort of outperformed Cofidis over the last 2 seasons, Cofidis basically had a good first year and then dropped off, whereas Uno X will come the other way as they were sort of becoming more established. And the thing from the comments people discussing the topic is that Uno X have been much more fun to watch racing, so everyone's kind of rooting for Uno X. The problem is that they're still a pro team, whereas Cofidis are a World Tour team, probably still with a bit of a bigger budget. So they have, I think, over 20 race days remaining, and Uno X have about half that. So effectively, Cofidis have to do just over half as well as Uno X over the remaining days, and they can still beat them, which would be sad.
Where did all the Cofidis points come from 2 years ago? Would that have been
French? I mean,
it's a bloody good question.
The French Cup, they do really well in races that you don't watch,
right?
Because and that's actually when you guys were talking, or Johnny, when you mentioned Arnaud Demar earlier and all of his wins, I had the same thought. Like, he does really well in races that we don't watch. But yeah, I mean, that's where they get their points.
Yeah, 2023. They won a couple of Tour de France stages, Vuelta stage, a bunch of French races. Maybe they got a decent finish in. Did Jonas Aguirre finish well in the Tour that year? Honestly, I can't remember.
Top 10 in the Tour de France with Guillaume Martin.
Oh, Guillaume Martin. Yeah.
There we go.
That's where a lot of and sixth at the Criterium de Dauphiné and it was Victor Lafay.
That was the Victor Lafay year.
It was Victor Lafay year.
Yeah, it was.
So it was the man on the castle who did it for them.
Uno X being at Langkawi actually really matters, because the winner of Langkawi gets like 200 points, and second even gets 150, and they have a guy in Anders Holland Johannesson is in second right now as of recording time.
Oh, that guy.
Can we give the UCI some credit here? Because we spend the vast majority of our time when we're talking about the UCI talking about how they've done something wrong. This is good.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't actually care generally about Cofidis or Uno X in any way, but this adds a bit of a adds some jeopardy, right? And that's what sports all about. Sports all about jeopardy. So I mean, frankly, like I think that the sport should be looking at additional ways to add things like this, right? Can you I don't know what the good example would be, but it really directly tying it to Tour de France wildcards, for example, would be interesting, because it's kind of like, okay, you're a figure world tour, you don't need a wild card. It's kind of indirectly tied, and there's like 1 or 2 slots. I think it's 2 slots. But like tying the whole thing to the Tour for me would make even more sense than the way that they've got it going right now. Because it's just good fun. It's something to talk about down the bottom end of the table.
The point system too is like you could nitpick all kinds of reasons where the point system is messed up here or there, and too many points for this race, not enough points for that race, whatever. But just in general, the fact that this system exists where you get points to go to a race Langkawi, like Langkawi, actually is a really good thing. It's why people go to Langkawi. So yes, I know we only really care about racing in Central or Northwestern Europe, right? But like, if you're a fan in Langkawi, or this is really true if you're a Canadian fan, you get to watch Tadej Pogacar in Quebec, and all these other riders because UCI points, right? And like, I know we make fun of, oh wow, this race has as many UCI points on offer as that race, but in general, it often is a very good thing because it incentivizes riders to go to things that aren't just the Tour de France and Paris-Roubaix, which is great.
Yeah.
And I might get to see a deadline 19th of October day where I am waiting to see if Cofidis will get the 8th spot on the final stage of Guangxi to secure their Pierre Allegart sprinting. I don't know if he's a sprinter. He could be sprinting.
A story where there wouldn't have been one, but for UCI points.
He's a one-day racer. He could do it. Yeah. To get to
never
secure his job for the next 3 years, the crowds go wild at the prospect of
all the
Cofidis
crowds
not having to, yes, they've had a rough time of it, but Cofidis not being World Tour will, it's like, I don't know, it's like beating down on your old grandpa or something, isn't it? Like, just let them be there, just enjoying, not even enjoying themselves. I don't think they enjoy it anymore, but just being there. It'd be wrong to not have them there.
I mean, they're French. They'll end up at the Tour anyway. They'll be fine, right? Like,
that's probably true.
I guess.
It's probably true. It's more existential for Uno X, I think, than it is for Cofidis, because Uno X entirely reliant on wildcards is a less of a sure thing than it is for Cofidis, for sure.
The last, I'm pretty sure they're like 12th overall maybe for this year, which then, yes, they are 12th overall, the highest ranked pro team. So they will get, for next year, definitely the automatic wildcards for World Tour events, but it's just 1 year as opposed to guaranteed for 3, which is obviously much better. Because when you go and get sponsorship, you can be like, we're going to be at the Tour de France for 3 years, so you can really pony up some serious cash. Or when you offer riders, you can be like, 3 years of Tour de France starts. Why don't you sign with us?
Dane.
Oh no, yeah. I agree entirely. That's a great point. Yeah,
I thought you put your hand up.
Yeah, same.
I was just looking at the numbers here, just trying to see who was where, and I think it's interesting. Sorry to derail us a little, but I think it's interesting the way that Cofidis has really. You mentioned this; they've kind of gone downhill like a lot.
A lot.
So the fact that they're even challenging for this, for holding on to their spot, is based on that first year.
It's just Guillaume Martin and Victor Lefebvre. And
and meanwhile they've just been bad. But like, there's a couple of other teams, like I'm mostly thinking about Tudor, and I think Q36.5 is certainly on the rise, where like, if the relegation cycles had been timed like a year differently, it might be a totally different group of teams.
It should just be every year.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, that would be spicy.
Just like, end of the season, you're gone, right?
That would be very spicy.
I think it's hard to do with because it's all sponsorship based, right? I think you can't be as ruthless.
What if the year after, so your World Tour, right? The year after you get booted, it's like kind of like parachute payments in football. You get one more year at the Tour de France.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah.
Or you have they do this in some leagues where the relegated team will play the promoted team in a one-off playoff to decide who actually goes up and down. So you have like a one-off race between two teams.
Love that.
We need more of that. Yeah.
Wow.
We need more of that.
Just some ideas.
And then like a Cofidis v UAE Community Shield.
Exactly, yes.
Sure.
And play it in the Emirates or something, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from UCI points. As much as we love UCI
I got
points.
my segue. I got a segue if you want
segue?
it.
Okay, segue us.
While we may be looking forward to the end of the season and the weird little final races, you know who isn't, Kaylee?
Who? I don't know.
The rest of the peloton, according to our secret
that's
pro.
True.
Apparently they are done.
So we ran our secret pro this week. The general gist of it was, I am tired, and everyone else is tired. Everybody's tired. The tiredness is complete, really. He referred to Guangxi as getting punished scent, which I think is a fun way to put it. Somebody in the comment section suggested that we start using Guangxi as a verb, so you can
To get Guangxi'd.
Get Guangxi'd, because as if we quote the Secret Pro himself, the line was, "You didn't quite earn the right to vanish to Bali, so you get shipped to China to grind out 6 more days in the humidity. Everyone knows they're there because the boss circled their name after a bad sprint in July or a dodgy pull at the Vuelta." It's a rough way to get sent to Guangxi.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
what happened to you, Johnny. It was
well,
stage 17 of the Tour de France, and I was like, whoop,
Yeah.
circle his name.
So true. You do the nice thing though, where you wait for me to ask if I can go when I already know I'm
Like it's
I'm
Johnny's
being
idea.
sent. Yeah, you let me think it's my idea,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, you're going anyway.
That's good management, Johnny.
That is good management. That is good management. But yes, look, the coolest thing is this. 2 years ago when I was there, I think Luke Plapp DNF'd on the first day. I don't know why. But then he didn't just get to go home. Maybe he didn't want to stamp up for his own flight, so he was just like walking around all the hotels for like 6 days, and it was insane. And they have like a big final dinner at the end that like we have to go to because they've been paying our hotels all week. But then the riders have to go as well, so it's just it's insane. It's an insane way to live your life all of the time. Like I do it for a week, and I'm done.
You get a little view into what it's like to just be sent to random places and live in a whatever hotel you get booked into.
The hotels
you don't even
are
have to ride
great,
your
by the
bike the whole
way.
time. Oh yeah,
Oh my
all
gosh.
these things. Like I remember going to the Dubai tour and just like 5-star hotel in Dubai for a week. You're like, okay,
Your guys' trade surplus is meaning I'm staying in 4 or 5-star hotels. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you. But yes.
Other things from the Secret Pro. So he touched on Matthew Riccatello and Riccatello's contract, which I don't personally know anything about Matthew Riccatello's contract other than the fact that it's 3 years, which is what was publicly released. But the Secret Pro seems to think that this is a massive contract.
It's the talk of the peloton as well.
Yeah.
Apparently, no one's really that bothered about the Rwanda stuff anymore or the Vuelta Israel stuff. Apparently, the talk of the town, and I guess the town could be Girona, but I just imagine the gossip then disseminates out through other WhatsApp channels. Is of Mathieu Riccatello and supposedly earning an absolute whack off decathlon, which is fun. I imagine he was probably reasonably paid at Israel Premier Tech as well, who are known for paying for talent.
Yeah, although he was
pretty
quite
young.
young when he came in.
Yeah, I guess he just got top 5 at the Vuelta, so the price goes up. But
I mean, I don't even know if this is true, right? I don't.
I mean, the Secret Pro doesn't either. It's
Secret
just
Pro just heard
about.
this. We're like, okay, like it's one of those things where if we were writing a story about it, I'd be like, well, we need like sourcing and things like that. But this is, it's like a blog from a
He
pro
looks
cyclist.
so
right?
young, by the way, Matthew Riccatello.
Yeah, and he's
youngest
just basically the gist was Riccatello moved over, and his theory, Secret Pro's theory, which I think is probably pretty spot on, is that because you've got like the top 2 slots at the Tour de France locked up for the next 5 years, anybody who could even maybe step into that space or try to challenge that space 3 years from now is getting a bunch of cash thrown at them. And I think we've seen the same thing with Ayuso, right? Like that was a big part of the reason why Ayuso left. He also mentioned Ayuso. Secret Pro likes one Ayuso. Secret Pro is not Dane.
Who doesn't?
We should say. It's not Dane. Secret Pro likes Ayuso and gave him credit for essentially moving to try to get like leadership as opposed to moving to try to get just cash. Because I would imagine he's actually, I bet it's pretty much a lateral move.
Yeah, for
financially,
sure.
money-wise, because he's coming from UAE. He's going to the supermarket giant. As big as Lidl is, has no oil, and so is not going to be able to sort of compete with the
Can you
likes
get
of UAE.
gas? Can you get petrol?
Probably.
No, I don't think so. Olive oil, and that's fairly pricey these
Olive
days
oil,
anyway. So that
those
could be-
little cans of propane.
There's that too. Okay.
You get some
probably
of
get
those.
that. Yeah, special
Just wanted to
buy, depending on the week.
Keep it factual here that you can actually purchase some.
You can buy oil.
But they're not pumping it out of the ground beneath
No.
stores.
Yeah. They're not a sovereign wealth fund.
So I guess I kind of agree with him on that. Like I kind of like Ayuso moving even though the means of doing so for us were very funny and very entertaining, the means of doing so were maybe not loved by the top brass at UAE.
Yeah, I think we
Whatever.
probably helped Ayuso. I think we made it. We as in the media and the fans probably helped create more of a hostile working environment
Yeah,
than it
probably
was,
true.
and helped him fulfill his dream of leaving UAE. But what the Secret Pro said was like respect to him for kind of doing exactly what he wanted to do and pushing hard for it and not
Yeah.
wilting at the first sign of people criticizing him or UAE management or Pogacar not liking him. Apparently Pogacar and Del Toro were both posting the photo of him getting dropped a lot, which
Yeah.
internet conspiracy theorists were saying proves that they've all fallen out.
It's interesting to me that Del Toro would do that. I feel like it's only a matter of time before he's in the same boat as Ayuso. I feel like, where he's sort of
I think
coming
he's got
up
a longer
against the same
timeline,
problem.
I guess, probably.
He's young. How old is Pogacar now?
28?
27, 28?
28, I think.
Tadej
Let me
Pogacar,
double
27 years old.
27.
Oh,
He's 6
ouch.
years younger. So he's fine.
Yeah.
He just has to wait him out.
check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of
Wait
could
a minute.
happen any week now. He's,
Yeah.
he's been in
Pogacar's
the top
gonna-
for however long.
Yep.
What is he? Can he have like 5 to 7 years at the top before you eventually
I mean,
go off the other side?
unless you're Valverde or Annemiek van Vleuten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but,
Less
you know,
said about
those sorts
those
of
two,
rules
the
don't
better.
necessarily apply to the guy who finished second in his first ever Roubaix and won the Tour the same year. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I did
but
like
yeah.
what the Secret Pro, to bring it back to Secret Pro, I liked, and I think we have said this on the show as well, so it seemed like he agreed with us, that Trek was a good destination because they have a pretty solid working environment there compared to a UAE, for instance. Like you don't hear a lot about intra-team strife at Little Trek the way you do at UAE or some other teams, or Ineos for that matter. Like there's a lot of teams where there's intra-team strife. Little Trek either doesn't have it or they do a good job of keeping it from getting to the media.
Yep.
So
I think they genuinely don't have much of it.
No, the
Right?
one thing they have to do is if Mads Pedersen is lost when he wanted to win, apparently you have to just avoid him for a bit because he's not happy.
He's
But
got that
that's
sprinter
like,
mentality.
Yeah, you got to have a
Yeah.
bit of that. You got to have a bit
Yeah.
of that. So I don't think, but that's the one whiff we've heard of.
That
of
seems
anything
healthy to
going
me.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be more worrying if he wasn't at all cross, you know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, good
I would
stuff
agree with
from Secret Pro.
I
Still
enjoyed the comments all trying to guess who it is too.
Yeah, I was going to
is-
say that's the best bit of the Secret Pro every time. And but now they're guessing how we might be misleading them about the real identity.
Which we are,
Yeah,
just to be clear.
there's always been one Ayuso.
It's always been Juan Ayuso. It will always be Juan Ayuso.
Yeah,
Even before Juan Ayuso was a pro, it was Juan Ayuso.
it's him with a
Yeah.
little bit of Matthew Riccatello dropped in. It's been like, by the way, guys, I'm earning a shitload of money now. It's actually insane.
No, I've always enjoyed the guesses. Yeah, I mean, you two don't even know. That's how
It's
we
true.
do it.
I don't
That's what
want to
we do.
know.
I have my
there.
own theories
there
and,
with my
and
burner
reasons
account.
why. Yeah.
I've got my burner account in the comments being like, oh, they're definitely doing it this way, and it's definitely this guy.
There was one comment that accused us of just making it up, which
We'd make it much more salacious than that. if
we
make
would,
it up.
if we were gonna make it up, we would say way crazier stuff than
There was
what a real person says.
one of the Secret Pros back in the day, which has been second tips. I think Shoddy Dave put it together, and it was a genuinely big rider, like a shockingly big rider to be doing an anonymous column. So that is fun. So it's not always, English speakers or
Nope.
people who you'd most associate with our business, but yeah, shocking. When Dave told me that, I was like, "Are you joking?" So that's fun. But yes, thanks again to the Secret Pro.
Thanks to Secret Pro for doing.
Go and
another
read it
one.
on the website.
We have. There was a second piece of this Secret Pro, but it was getting kind of long anyway, so I decided to lop it off. But there's something else coming, which I think maybe wait like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll chat with him again. And it's his top 5 underrated rides, races of the year, which is quite an interesting list because it's not necessarily stuff that he saw in person, but it's stuff that got the peloton talking or whatever. Like somebody did something where everyone's like, "Wow, that was either not expected or just like really impressive. It's a good little list. So we'll run that in a couple weeks here. I think it's a good little end of season thing as we get past Lombardia and Guangxi. It's because you never know, he might have to update it based on Guangxi, right?
Yeah.
It could be one of the rides of the season. You don't know.
True.
Cofidis could just go ham over there. save their season, save their access to the Tour de France.
Cofidis 1, 2, 3 a la Mapai. Roubaix.
Device. Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we do have some Euros to talk about and some news from Red Bull. Welcome back, everybody. In this week's least surprising news, the recent world time trial champion has won the European time trial.
Yeah.
But he did. Remco beat Filippo Ganna, who wasn't in Rwanda. And I think that the turnaround time between those two races was like 72 hours or something like that. It was something very, very tiny. Or the turnaround time between the road race and the time trial was really tiny. So, yeah, not surprising. What did Ganna call him?
He said Remco is a fucking rocket, which must have made Bas Tietema sit up in his chair thinking that he just somehow pulled off the signing of the century just after Remco had signed for Red Bull. But he was talking metaphorically, of course, with added swear words because that's how you make sure that you get social media hits now, I think, if you're an athlete. You have to do a little bit of swearing.
I think people saw the Grisha Nierman response to the motorbike, and everyone wants to do that too.
Yeah,
and a rocket's better than a motorbike, I would say.
It is.
Yeah, I think you could actually argue that if you really wanted to. But yes, but I would. Yeah, I mean, you as a rider, you'd probably rather have a motorbike than a rocket in terms of UCI limits,
ability to
functionability, steering. Yeah, and the thing that they're missing is that part of the thing about Grisha Nierman is his accent.
That's true.
That's the thing you can't really replicate if you're Filippo Ganna.
True.
And Misha Brodewald won the women's Euro time trial. And that's kind of all I want to say about the Euros time trial. If I'm honest.
It's time trials, right?
There's almost nothing that I care less about than the European Championships.
Why do it so close to the Worlds? Why not do this one in like February?
Yeah, I just
then
don't
I would care. No,
don't care.
At least Spin Zone, Remco winning the Euros one means we don't have to see any Euros jerseys in time trials, so I can't be reminded that the European Championships exist.
You get to forget about it.
To me, it's kind of like the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, but you're just jealous because you're not in it.
No,
Big regrets.
No, we fought a war to not be in that.
I know, and now you have buyer's remorse. You win so many medals.
I think that's a good comparison, Kelly, because some of the
is.
athletes, like the Welsh athletes, really care about it, right? Or like the Scottish athletes love their Commonwealth Games because they get to not be on the same team as England for once, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the year they got to be, we're Team GB, but then I get to be on my own constituent
they
part
like
of the United
not-
Kingdom.
Don't they not like the king? Isn't that the whole point?
Maybe they get to stick it to them by winning the
Probably
individual
depends
pursuit.
how much Team GB money's floating around at that given time. If I had to guess, it'd be cynical.
I just feel like you know what it is. It's the like sort of national equivalent of like making a Strava segment on your driveway so that you can take the Strava segment, right?
It's true.
That's what it is. It's like no, we're just only going to compete with the amongst ourselves. We're not going to let anybody else in, right? The Olympics have the Americans in them. The Olympics have the Chinese in them.
Yeah, I feel like with the Commonwealth Games, for cycling, they're caring less about the Americans, maybe. But yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just artificially small.
Put the Slovenians in the Commonwealth Games. See how it goes.
Exactly.
For the Welsh and the Scots.
To be clear,
and the
in the
English.
framing of the European Championships, most of the athletes are European, and
True.
the road race will have a bunch of hitters in it.
Yeah, Vingegaard, which is great.
Ringo, who's like, I have to learn how to ride one-day races. And it's like, you spend the whole Tour de France and you're taking it day by day, so pick a lane, buddy.
But to Vingegaard's credit, I feel like as a one-day racer, I have a lot more confidence in him than I do in the previous I only do Grand Tours Tour de France winner, that is Chris Froome, who was possibly the worst one-day racer that that like there ever was, even
How
though he was an
different is
incredible stage racer.
How different is it though? Really?
I don't
Do you
know.
think
I don't
there's
know
that much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vingegaard
Really?
needs to do more one-day races.
It's more fun. He'll
When
figure that
when
out.
we announce 3 cycling this winter,
Yeah.
because obviously one cycling is now fully kaput.
Yeah. What is going on
and
with that? Anything?
It's just toast. It's done. I think you might have been on holiday when Chris Marshall Bell wrote that story, but it is fully toast.
It's done. Is that because the Saudis bought EA Sports for 55 billion instead, which is probably a better
Possibly.
investment than the whole
Yeah, they're going to
sport.
make a lot of money off
It's
of that.
mostly because David Lepartien sent a letter to all the teams and races in the middle of the Tour de France that said, if you engage with this, we will take your license away.
Ah, that would do it.
That will do it. That will do it. So anyway, when we talk about 3 cycling over the winter, which is, we're just going to keep going. Like they can stay with whatever they are. We're going to keep going. I think that's something that we should discuss, which is how to get Vingegaard to do more one-day races and be good at them.
He has won one-day race in his career,
What was
which
it?
is the Drome Classic 2022,
Ooh,
which I believe
I think I remember that weirdly.
I don't remember much about it. He's done a couple. Like he'll do San Sebastian. I think he's done Lombardia.
Lombardia is a good one for him.
Yeah, Lombardia you would think would be the best one for him.
Yeah.
But I think at that point in the season, he's like, well, Toddy's probably going to win anyway, and also
mean-
it's late in the year.
One days are hard and they're a different sort of challenge, I think, to a Grand Tour. But at the same time, the Tour de France in particular is completely chaotic. And those individual stages are as hard as anything else you're going to find in
exactly.
a one day. So it's not like he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? I think he just likes being at home / on a mountain.
Well,
Slash wherever
maybe
it
that,
is that's
that
not
could be
racing.
a 3 cycling. That could be a 3 cycling idea. Is that the more races that the big stars all do together, maybe they get more time off from other races, and then maybe we get some collusion, but make it good.
Ah.
You know?
So if Vingegaard does like a full Ardennes, then he doesn't have to go to Guangxi.
Or if he does a Roubaix with Pogacar, then after the Tour de France, he's just out.
I mean, if he did Roubaix with Pogacar, he would do it like Yuskadi used to do.
Yeah, I don't think
which
that would be
is
good.
They just pulled out. The entire team would pull out of the first feed zone.
Yeah.
Be like, see ya.
You got to
Go back
limit what you're
Spain.
asking for here. I don't think Roubaix is it.
Okay,
We're
fine.
going back to Spain. A couple of those sort of news hits here. So Zach Dempster and Ollie Cookson headed to Red Bull. Dempster was most recently at Ineos, right?
Yep.
And
As was Cookson.
as was Cookson, and we're sort of brought in. So Rolf Aldag was running the show over at Red Bull for the last 2 years, as a sports director. Since Red Bull came on, and even previously at Bora, and he was removed this year, and they've been kind of looking for like a new, basic people to run that department now, right? Like run the sort of sports department, the director sportifs, and run all that. It looks like it's going to be some combination of these two, right? Which I think is interesting. And it's more people leaving Ineos, and 2, it's people who have struggled on their own to turn the Ineos ship around, being brought into a project that is sort of more nascent, more kind of just getting off the ground still. I think it's a good move. Like we think Zach Dempster is like every interaction I've ever had with him I was super impressed with him. I haven't chatted with Ollie Cookson all that much. Have you?
No. Where
No.
do you know?
I've had a conversation or two with him. He seems like he's got his head screwed on straight. I don't know that
Yeah.
much more about him, but yeah.
I'm just very intrigued by kind of anything that Red Bull does at this point, because they are not where they want to be at this point. I think that's pretty obvious. So yeah, what they kind of do to turn that around is interesting.
And Rolf Aldag doesn't really take many prisoners. He makes decisions and kind of gets on with it.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing with Red Bull for me is that they've got, I think, like the best possible situation they could have.
You think about Denk?
Sorry, Denk, not Aldag. Denk. Maybe that's why he got rid of him. Is
Too
'cause
many
everyone's
Rolfs.
Like, too many Rolfs and
Yeah,
Ralphs. Sorry, Dane. I
Too
cut
many
you off.
roles. Yeah.
It just clicked in my head that I was talking about the wrong Rolf.
The team, though, they've got, I think they have the best situation they could have in the Pogacar Vingegaard world. Like,
Yeah.
they have, not only do they have, like, possibly the next best rider in Evenepoel, but they've got, like, a couple other guys ready to step up, have that big year,
Yeah.
or maybe just do really well if Pogacar and Vingegaard crash out, which, that happens. So I think they've got the pieces in place as best as they can have them. So yeah, there's potential there, and I think it's a place where, having a new perspective on how to turn those pieces into something successful could be good.
Question from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be the second best team next year? Because UAE is going to keep being the best team.
It's got to be Visma,
Visma,
right?
Yeah, but Visma has, they've been blowing real hot and cold as of late.
What was the point? Let's look at the points difference this year. Yeah, they're only 2,000 points ahead of Lidl Trek.
That's substantial. That's a grand tour.
But Little Trek with Ayuso.
True.
It used to be UAE and Visma.
I've changed my mind. The second team is going to be UAE because Juan Ayuso is going to win the Tour de France. So then UAE is just going to be second best.
He better be good. Need him to be good.
He better at least be blockbuster.
I mean, the other thing the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe have going for them is that we get to see 2026 Primoz Roglic and what he's got in store for everyone. Because if he didn't care this year, he's really not going to care next year at all.
Yeah,
he's going to go proper crazy.
I can't wait for that.
Fun. I mean, with the Ineos movement, I guess the way that they're going to plug the gap left behind by two, experienced staff members is Geraint Thomas is supposedly on his way in some form, maybe as the head sports director, which maybe Zach Dempster left because he was always going to stay sports director.
Yeah.
Whereas he gets to go and be head sports director at Bora.
Yeah.
Because he knows Geraint is coming in, which I guess will be a boost for Ineos. I think it must be probably quite hard for Geraint to go off being like star rider to immediately then kind of the same trip around the sun.
Well, we should say that we haven't confirmed that yet. But it makes the most sense. So what has been confirmed is that Geraint Thomas and management were talking about a role for him, kind of in management somewhere. Right?
I mean, if he doesn't get across the line, then that is big warning signs for Ineos.
Yeah.
Because
he wants to stick around. He wants to be involved. He wants an important role, right? He's got obviously a wealth of experience, particularly on that side of things, right? Because we were trying to figure out, okay, where does he fit in, right? Like he's not going to go into the marketing department. I guess he could be in charge of Ineos's podcast or something like that. He's pretty good at that. But yeah, realistically, he's most useful at the top of that sort of sports department, whatever you want to, different teams call it different things, right? Running the rest of the director sportifs, providing that sort of mentorship and things like that, and setting like a cultural tone, because it really has seemed like Ineos over the last couple of years in particular has just that cultural issue has been one of the biggest problems, and I would think it's reasonably likely that that's where he ends up.
Just looking down the Ineos Grenadiers staff list on their website, David Rosman is still on there.
Interesting.
So maybe he could have a go. He'd like to do a lot of other things.
Yeah. Haven't heard anything on that story in a while, have we?
No, we'll have to wait for Dave Brailsford to pop his head up again.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we were worried about the end of the Tour de France, right? Because when you can't literally stand in front of them at the bus, it's harder to get answers in this sort of thing.
Agreed.
Not that we were particularly successful while standing in front of them at the bus, but we tried at least.
That feels like a million years ago.
And we could write stories about failing, so that works too. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got a bunch of things. It is all. This is a great phrase that I am happy I get to say today in the pod. It is all kicking off at the UK Durney Championships.
Ooh.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It's so good I'm gonna say it twice. It's all kicking off at the UK Derby Championships. Durney.
Not the, if
Jesus,
it was
Derby
UK Derby
Championships.
Championships, it probably would also be kicking off. I think I'm allowed to say that.
We have a dairy and a London dairy that I drove through to get down here. Actually,
Really?
Wait, you have two separate places called Derry and Londonderry there?
Yeah, New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so sometimes I take pictures of the signs and I send them to Ronan and I ask him what he thinks about it.
That's a good.
Jeez.
That's
Off
a
the
great thing
record.
to do.
Let's not repeat what Ronan might have said. Would you like to hear about how it's all kicking off at the UK Durney Championships?
Durney Championships, yeah.
Durney.
Yes,
Well,
thank you.
actually, it's not technically kicking off because it didn't get to take place. You'll be shocked to hear.
Ah,
Because the UK Durney Championships, we need to come up with a catchy phrase for it. I can't be bothered
UKDC.
the UKDC was supposed to be taking place, but a week before there was the local track league at Derby Arena where it was going to be held. Derby in the Midlands.
yeah.
I think it's where all the Dan Bigham and them lot were hanging around or something like that. They were doing the track league. The Derneys were
Barbados.
going around in Barbados. That's it. And apparently, this is via a member actually. This intel, there was a complaint from the adjoining gym that they were getting choked out by the fumes from the Derneys, and so then a statement was released saying that due to poor ventilation, the UK Durney Championships had to be cancelled.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Fine, maybe a storm in a teacup, but the conspiracy comes in because just 2 years ago, the venue was fine to host the UK Durney Championship. So what happened to the ventilation in between these 2 calendar years? And add on top of this, at the Kigali World Championships, they announced that the 2026 Indoor Cycling World Championships, you never guess where they're going to be held.
Saudi
Derby
Arabia.
Arena.
Oh boy.
So they've really got to sort it out,
Fix
and they
that
don't have
quick,
long to go. They said the National Durney Championships cannot return to Derby Arena until they replace the petrol or whatever Derneys with electric ones.
I mean,
But
that
you'll be
seems like the
shocked-
obvious answer.
Yes, but you'll be shocked to learn that the UK Durney scene is not flush with cash, and electric Derneys are very expensive apparently. And some Facebook comments have even alleged that they don't exist, but I am pretty sure I've seen electric Derneys on multiple occasions. But I think that's just Facebook.
High schoolers fly by me on the
Yeah.
river trail at a regular basis on
Yeah,
what are
I think
basically electric.
I think all of
If
Asia
you'd
basically
have to get
uses the electric Derneys to get around.
you'd have to get the sort of the governor taken off, right? So you can go fast enough because in real Durney racing, you got to be able to go fast, like
Yeah.
50, 60 plus k an hour. But
Just-
I mean, I'm all for moving to electric vehicles. But there's
Yeah, but
something
not in Derby
classic.
Arena when they're just trying to race a Durney and there's someone in a tent
Yeah.
across from them and one complaint shuts the whole thing down.
Yeah.
That is broken Britain. Not to get all politics, but you say what I was going about politics. Let them race their Derneys in an enclosed space while huffing
That's a
carbon
hot
monoxide.
take, Johnny. Tell
You
Johnny
know?
in the comments why he's wrong.
No, we learned 2 summers ago that inhaling carbon monoxide can have significant benefits.
Performance.
That's a
Yeah.
good
Performance
thing, right? I've been doing it ever
benefits,
since. It is a
Yeah.
good thing, right?
Yeah, so I don't
Also-
see the issue here. I don't see the issue.
Also, you may think that the UK Durney Championships is, a nothing. It doesn't matter. Previous winners of the UKDC, 2023, Matthew Brennan. Look where he is now.
Wow.
2008, Luke Rowe.
Oh,
Chapeau.
wow.
How old
Look
was
what
Luke
he
Rowe?
wants
Like
to do.
12?
Who?
Luke
Matthew
Rowe
Brennan.
in
When
08?
2008?
Yeah.
He's an old geezer now, isn't he?
He is
Yeah.
I guess.
He would have been 18.
18.
Perfect age for Durney racing.
Real quick,
Yep.
why do you say Durney but Derby? Shouldn't you say Darney if you're saying Derby?
Look.
Just a thought.
You're about to say, it's either Sean Bourne or Sean Bean. You kind of it both ways. You can, Dane.
Oh.
This is the free world.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's also the word that they use. They use the word derby to refer to a rivalry.
Town sporting match. Liverpool
Yeah.
versus Everton or yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Derby's and Clark's, I don't get it. It's strange.
Clark still gets me messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad that it does. That makes me happy then. All right, we can move on. As long as it
Speaking
messes
of
you up.
speaking of aging Welshmen,
Yep.
Owain Doull, 32. It's not old necessarily. Actually, only a year older than
That's
me,
not
which
that
is
old. Yeah.
Pretty old.
trifling. He's hit the transfer lottery jackpot once again because not only has he just spent some halcyon days at EF Education Easy Post, he's now off to Visma Lease a bike on a 2-year deal. So
That
good
must be
for
like
him.
road captain stuff, right?
Yeah, must be
Yeah.
road captain stuff, bit of experience, with all maybe just some normal people around who people can have a conversation with. He's like a normal guy.
Are you saying Wait, are you saying EF's not normal or Visma's not normal?
Visma. Well, just like bike riders in general, right?
EF's
Owen
pretty
seems
normal.
more normal of most of them. Yeah, EF has a lot of normal
Should we
people
do a
actually.
normal ranking in After Dark today?
Yeah,
Teams
sure.
or is it you talking about normal teams?
Teams.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
is the
Riders a
team
bit too
vibe
personal.
normal? No, no, not the persons.
Yeah,
As a
teams.
whole, as a group,
Good idea.
normalcy within that team. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we can. I think we can do that. Uh, should we? Let's real quick on the last sort of fun thing here before we have some sad news.
Yeah.
Portugal doping ban. So a team
Yeah.
in Portugal was the whole team was
AP
banned.
Hotels and Resorts / Tavira, which I believe is in a place in the Algarve, / SC Ferenc, which they're often tied to bigger sporting clubs. It's been suspended for 3 whole weeks because 2 of its riders have tested positive for banned substances in the same 12-month period.
The Portuguese scene,
Yeah.
I think it is safe to say, particularly off the back of this particular news, is rife with doping. It just is. It has been for years and years and years. And I don't know, no one seems to really care.
Well, it seems
Well,
it's because mostly I think they just stay within Portugal and just
That's the
set
thing.
ridiculous times at very steep climbs. So,
It's up
you know,
to Portuguese anti-doping to do something about it. Like that,
Right.
when
yeah.
it's within your own. Like it's not. We're talking about
There's
the
there's
continental
Colombia
teams.
is similar.
Right, and
Like-
it's like,
like
if
the-
you make it to the world tour and you're racing in these races where you're getting tested all the time, that's a little bit of a
Right.
different story. Like by saying the Portuguese scene is rife with doping, we're not necessarily saying Joao Almeida is a
Right.
suspect rider. It's more like the continental teams that race the Portuguese low-level races have a lot of
Yeah.
suspect
Yeah.
riders.
But at the same time, I've talked to team bosses about Colombian riders, for example, where there's a similar perception of the sort of like amateur and elite amateur scenes, right? That it's just it's full of doping, and they've told me directly that they worry about bringing on Colombian riders for that
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
reason, because you don't know how they got those wins, right? Like they did actually. We were specifically talking about Egan Bernal, and I'm not gonna like name teams here because I would not get them right. And this was 5 years ago I was having this conversation, but there are teams within Colombia that are known to not do that. And so if you have a ton of talent, they actually try to sort of like funnel the real like
into those teams.
the true talents into those teams and then essentially get them out of the country, which is what Bernal has done, and some others that have come through that system. And then if you're sort of like not quite that good, then you get chucked into this like morass of God knows what's happening. Again,
Yeah.
I am not an expert in Colombian cycling. This is all like sort of just conversations that I've had over the years. But it does become a problem at some point because it makes it really hard to do true talent ID if you have a
Yeah.
a national race series that is just sort of full of this stuff. Which Portugal, like I said, that's just not me saying it. We get doping positives out of Portugal at like 5-10 times the rate of like every other country in Europe. So
Maybe the testers are just really good.
could
Have we
be
considered that?
could be testers are incredible. Yeah. You also get like EPO positives out of Portugal on
Yeah,
a
yeah,
semi-regular
sounds
basis.
cool. That sounds
It's
cool.
like
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous,
Training with a soundtrack by cassette tape.
right?
Yeah.
So wrapping up this segment here before we get into After Dark, we do have 2 really unfortunate bits of news. I'm going to start with Jürgen Leth. Johnny, I'll throw to you for this one. He's a director, and well, one of the individuals he's the director behind was A Sunday in Hell and a couple other sort of like big
film.
major sort of older cycling documentaries. I think A Sunday in Hell is one of the sort of best at capturing the world of pro cycling, of anything that's ever been created around pro cycling. He passed away this last week. Super, super sad. I didn't know Jorgen really at all. There's been a lot of really touching tributes that came out from a number of different folks. But yeah, I really appreciated his work. I've always loved his work. I loved A Sunday in Hell. And I think that we should all maybe pull that up this weekend and give it a little watch.
Yep, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's I think a lot of people end up hearing about it. Mostly, I think it's William Fotheringham did a book on it. And as you're sort of entering the cycling space and consumer media, you find the book, and then you're like, maybe you read the book or not, but then you find out about the film, and then you find it on YouTube, and you're like, oh wow, this is, it's one of those things where if you had to name like top things of people to watch or whatever to understand a bike race, it's one of them. So if you haven't watched it, it's super old school. It's
great.
It's not how it is nowadays.
The pace is not for the TikTok generation.
No.
But you gotta stick with it.
Yeah.
No
dancing.
It's beautifully shot, and it's beautifully put together, and it captures something about cycling that is really difficult to capture. And then the other bit of sad news from this week is that Korvos also passed away, I believe on Tuesday. He was 77 years old. He's a photographer, and he's a photographer that we've worked with since the founding of Escape, and many of us well before that. I worked with him previously at Cycling Tips. He and his wife Carla, and he shot this sport for like 5+ decades. You go all the way back to sort of like Le Mans, Fignon, Bernard Hinault, like all the way through Lance Armstrong. And in more recent years, he hasn't gotten out to as many races. I mean, he's mid-70s, right? But he's done a couple every year. He was the sort of like ongoing joke that I kept hearing about him was that next year was always the year he was planning on sort of fully retiring. And passed away this week. Leaves a huge legacy in cycling photography. Definitely, we put a piece up on the site, and I put a piece up on Instagram with some of his photos and some of his some portraits of him that we were able to dig out of his library. We still use Korvos photos. Like, I would say 80-90% of the photos that you see on Escape Collective are from him and his agency. And his agency now, he's not doing much of the shooting anymore. Or wasn't doing much of the shooting anymore, I should say. But it still gets fingerprints all over everything. But one of my favorite things to do for years now,
you loved it,
has been to open up that library, and if you type in scan in the search, which I don't know why I'm telling listeners this, you don't have access to his library, but if we type in scan in the search, it shows all the old film scans that they've got in the back catalog, basically. And there's thousands of them, like thousands and thousands. And you just scroll through, and you're taken through, that wet Roubaix. I think it was in '85 with Lamond in it and Phil Anderson, and there's some amazing photos from that. And there's that famous shot, I think it was Jan Ross, like punching a photographer halfway up the Koppenberg as he's trying to get his bike up this wet Koppenberg, and his riders like strewn all over the place behind him. And there's that one sort of famous photo of what looks like a punch, but you can see all the images from that sort of like 5 seconds or 10 seconds that happens there, and you can see the fact that he's actually grabbing the photographer and pulling himself forward to continue moving up the Koppenberg. And there's all these great moments, incredible moments that Korvos is able to capture. I've always loved his photography, and it's a real bummer that he is gone. And we send our heartfelt condolences to Carla, who again we've also worked with for years and years. And anybody else that was on the scene and knew Core and worked with him and all the rest. So rest in peace. And if you appreciate great cycling photography, we'll put a gallery of some sort. I think Ian or Joe or somebody was working on a gallery more recently. So I bet by the time this podcast goes up, there will be something on the site. You can go cruise through his images. With that, I do believe it is time for us to head to After Dark. Make sure you sign up, escapecollective.com/join.
Yeah, so go read the Secret Pro.
What was that?
Go read the Secret Pro, sign up so you can read
Go read the Secret Pro, sign up, and we will head in After Dark to talk about the most normal bicycle teams. And least. All right, we'll see you Monday. Thanks, everybody.